What up, guys? So I'm currently on my way to go look at the 240. I dropped it off this past Monday to the body shop. It's called Precision Body. My buddy Brian recommended them to me. They do really good work. I've seen what they do. The 240 has quarter rust on the passenger side and the driver's side. Probably go wide body, but I like the stock body a little better. And pretty sure just putting over fenders won't obviously fix the problem. It'll just hide it. So I'd rather get it done right, or if not, at least get it the best I can get it, and then go from there. So you guys will see in a minute what it looks like. Fingers crossed. So I'm at the body shop. The owner, one of the owners, Phil, he filled me in on the situation. So basically, it's looking kind of rough, worse than I expected, which is normal with rust. But we're in this little paint booth thing over here. And yeah, let me show you what it looks like. Right there, the bubbling was all the way up here. Pretty much came into the paint all the way up here. So we cut a little bit further than it did. And then the bad thing is it's on the inside. Call it the wheelhouse, right, kind of the inner wheel well. That part is the bad part because apparently there's some sort of little foam that lines this side. Kind of showed it to me here. This is everything that kind of came out, but this was the old panel that was all bubbly here. It was sitting like that. It looks right. So on the back side, looks like there's this weird foam thing that lines, I guess, where they kind of welded on. Basically over time it holds moisture, and that's what it started the rusting, because you can tell it's good metal here, but then right where the foam sits looks kind of rough. So kind of a bummer there. He did a little mock-up of the replacement panel. Actually looks pretty good. See if I can align it. I think it's like that. The panel he made for this side actually looks pretty good. He already bolted it on and looks perfect actually. So, all right. So here's Phil. He's one of the owners for this shop. He's actually the one that's gonna be working on the 240. So he's gonna explain what he's gonna end up using for the rust prevention and seal. So.
Anytime you're dealing with just bare metal, where you're grinding anything, bare metal, you want to use an epoxy-based seam sealer, primers, etc. You want to use that. You don't want to use just a straight urethane or a lacquer-based primer, which I haven't used a lacquer primer in, oh my God, probably 18 years now. So. With that being said, the seam sealers are 10 times better than what they were 10 years ago. You know, so this is rust-proofing wax and honeycoating. So basically, this stuff here doesn't work if you don't, like if we just sprayed this onto this here. I mean, you're not doing nothing. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this, I'm gonna get the dead out, meaning the dead rust. I'm gonna get all that out. But being that we don't wanna destroy the whole quarter panel, what I'm gonna do is we got our patch panels. So what I cut out, I'm gonna actually trim this, and this will still be connected to this, to where, like it was from the factory, how that's connected there. It's just, instead of having it this way, I'm gonna cut it and bend it. So once I have it here, this is still gonna be connected. But when I connect it, instead of doing I'm gonna have it tight, and then I'm gonna come back with the heavy bond seam sealer, and run a bead of seam sealer right there.
And that's what this is right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's epoxy based. You know, it's a 2-part. I shoot it out of a gun. This works on bare metal or prime surfaces. And basically, anytime you can cut down weld, you're gonna prevent corrosion, you know, rust. So, like I say, I mean, I've gotta weld this up. Obviously, I'm gonna butt this, and I'm gonna weld this whole panel in, and then we'll work it off like it's supposed to. But as far as the inside, I'll get all this out, cut it. You know, that I'll be pulling the tire off, and I'll get in there with a body hammer, and I'll shape this to where it fits back inside of here. Here on the bottom, on this corner part, or bottom edge here on this quarter, I'm gonna take where it comes to the wheelhouse here. I'm just gonna use a tape line from the bottom here, because that's rusted right there a little bit. I'm gonna cut that and just come straight up and come across, and I'm gonna do both sides that way, and that'll actually, it might, you know, if you want to run a different tire or whatever, we've done that stuff before on, actually a lot of times, like on pro street cars, like Camaros, like the 67, 69 Camaros that want to run a tub tire. It's got tubs in it. We've actually stretched the quarters.
Wow, okay.
And a lot of times that's what we've done. We've come in here and we've cut a notch out and extend the quarters out. And so this is not extending the quarter, but yet I'm eliminating the rust right there. And plus it's gonna give you a little something on the front edge there. And I'll do the same on that side. That side ain't got nothing on it.
Yeah.
But I just figured, you know, if you've seen this side, be like, well, what was done there? That's, you know, and both sides will make it look like it, you know, it was factory-wise.
Cool.
Anytime I put any kind, if I'm welding something, if I'm welding a rocker, if I'm welding a new quarter panel in it could be a brand new car. Basically, I cut everything out, I fit everything. When I've get my weld area right, you know, to start welding, I use weld through primer. And it's, I coat anywhere that's gonna be welded. So like this patch panel, we're gonna weld. What I do is I start off with a spot weld every inch, and then I go in between those until it's a full weld. If you can't, on sheet metal, you can't just start, you know, just run a pretty bead, because you're gonna warp the whole panel. So I just go, you know, a spot, go about an inch, get it intact, and then once it cools, then I'll come in between that. The best way to do it is if we had a quarter panel, we cut the quarter panel off, put a quarter panel on, and be done. But I mean, with your car, it's gonna be hard to find a nice quarter somewhere.
Yeah, they're
it
probably
really
all
is.
like that, to be honest.
They're probably all like that.
Yeah.
And I much rather work with what OEM you already have on here than even trying to find an aftermarket one somewhere, some aftermarket panel that doesn't fit well. You know what I'm saying?
It's just headaches and headaches.
It's just headaches. So with doing this, I feel very confident that you're gonna get many more years out of it. I really do. I mean, and if something does come back, I'm gonna stand behind it anyway. But I just think this is the best thing to do.
I just talked to Phil. He filled me in on everything. It's really, really refreshing to kind of get an idea. And he's a really cool guy, man. He's down to earth. I quoted him. He said he's a good old boy. He's straight up. He'll tell me everything. He's really cool. So if any of you guys have any body problems or anything, let him know, or let me know, and I'll get you in contact with him. It's really cool that he explained everything. I'm pretty excited for the Nissan again. Yesterday I was kind of moaning and groaning on it because I was like, do I really want to do this? But I definitely do. It's my first real project car, so and I've already made it run a whole bunch better than it did. I'm taking pretty good care of it, so pretty excited. Pretty excited to pick it up. He said sometime next week or the week after. I told him I'm no rush. I've shopped 4 different shops, and he was the only person that actually really explained everything, so I'm pretty confident this will be probably the best move I can do. So till the time I pick it up, I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate y'all supporting me through this journey of this car. So thanks for watching. Comment, do whatever you want. Like I said, I'm just really thankful for you watching. Thanks.